information about colleges. So back in the day when I went to college, we had to go to college or write letters to the college and say, send me all your stuff about tuition and information, and they sent you a book that was about this thick, and you look through it. Now you can do everything online. My college that I went to is Tarleton State University. Tarleton is part of the A&M system. Now there are branches across Texas. I went to the Stephenville branch. But if you go and Google tuition costs at Tarleton now, you're going to get to be able to watch this video, and that's what I want to show. When you go to start researching your college, most of the information that you're looking for, you can find online. Now, one of the things you want to recall from last year is you learned some things that you're going to need to kind of remember. How do you pay for college? Hopefully you have savings that you're going to set aside. We just spent a week learning how, Evan, sit up. We just spent a week learning how to put aside money and what happens when you invest money. You're going to need to talk to your family, figure out how much they can give you. You can get private loans from banks. Those have a pretty high interest rate, and you have to pay them back even before you get out of school. Not the best way to go. Grants are things that you don't have to pay back. You can get businesses to pay for your school. My niece worked for Starbucks, and so Starbucks actually paid for some of her tuition at ACC. You can do a work-study program based on your like if you're going to be a nurse or engineer, some of those places that you might go to work, they will pay for your study. Yes, Owen? Yeah? So I'm really glad you said that because, which reminded me that like at Baylor University, if you have somebody that works there, you can go to Baylor tuition free. Baylor's a really good school. Okay, so work study, federal loans, those are loans that you give out, and you don't have to pay them back until after you graduate. We're going to talk more about that when you do your college project. And then obviously scholarships. A lot of scholarships are awarded on grades and then also athletic capability, but there are other scholarships out there too. When I was a junior in college, I got a $5,000 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Scholarship. Some of it was based on my grades, but a lot of it was based on my major. I was an animal science major. It was out there. Nobody claimed it, and they gave it to me. I couldn't believe it. So one of the things I do want you to hear me say today is don't let money be the reason that you don't go to college. You can figure it out because there's money out there. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. Again, from last year, you talked about tuition, you talked about room and board and books and transportation. Financial aid is the money that you get to help you go to school. You want to save, you may need to borrow, you may need to get loans, and then everybody will fill out a FAFSA form. While you're, Evan, while you're doing your college research, you're going to go and there's a link to the FAFSA form so you and your family can sit down and look at it. Obviously, you don't need to fill it out, but look at it. Okay. This is stuff on how to pay for college that we just kind of went over. Some of it you have to pay back, some of it you don't. How do you qualify? Some of it based on grades, some of it based on financial need. There's a Pell Grant. You will come across this when you're doing your research. Mainly what you're looking for is where is money that I don't have to pay back? All right, we just kind of went over that. So when you Google, you'll get information about when you fill in your financial aid, you'll have to give information like how old you are, what your parents' income is, how much income tax you pay, and all that. And then when that happens, you'll get roughly an idea. So this girl did all that the video showed, and she discovered that it would cost $20,496 to go 1 year at Texas A&M Texas A&M University in Kingsville. So you take that number and you multiply it by 4 because it takes about 4 years to get through college. So her total cost would be a little over, let's see, if you have a calculator, oh, here it is right here, $81,984. That's what it's going to cost this particular person based on information about her financial need and the college that she's going to. So what I did in order to kind of get an idea of what you will come across when you Google, let me run over here and get my pen, because of course I left it over here, like I always do. Okay, so this is just an activity that comes out of your book. It says June is considering attending Del Mar College. Of course, we just canceled Del Mar College and we put my university up there, literally what I Googled was tuition for Tarleton State University, and these are the numbers that I got. And so you want to kind of keep track of what's what, especially when you start doing your college project. So tuition and fees, in-state tuition right here, $6,516. Now, one of the things I want you to be aware of is that if you pick a college that's out of state, you're not going to be able to pick the in-state tuition, are you? You'll have to look for how much it costs people who live out of state to go to school. Room and board, $6,836. The board stands for your food. So that some of that depends also on what kind of meal plan you choose. Are you going to eat on campus? Are you going to eat off campus? If you're working at a fast food place, maybe you don't really need as much board as others. Okay, books, $1,200. Books are super expensive. There's generally an other expenses. That could be gas. That could be any other activities that you might want to be involved in outside of sports or in sports. All right, pick up your calculators and add this total up and see how much it costs to go to Tarleton for 1 year. And raise your hand when you have an answer. What do you have, Lucas? 17,000 what? 952? All right. All of this, what's so crazy, all of this you get with one little Google search. I had to wait like 6 weeks in the mail to get all that information back. All right. If I want to know how much it's going to cost for 4 years, what would I do with that? Yes, multiply it by 4. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now let's go back to our first example. She was going to go to Texas A&M in Kingsville. It was going to cost $81,984 to go 4 years. Okay, but then you want to take into consideration the fact that this girl got a $2,000 scholarship each year for 4 years. So how much do we get to subtract? All right, so on your calculator, subtract 8,000. Okay, so notice we're chipping away 73,984. Dad has put away $11,000. So let's take off another $11,000. 62,984. Okay, and she was in Miss Mashburn's 7th grade math class, so she started putting $4,500 each year. And remember I said when it's each year, there's always a table. So she put $4,500 into an account each year, compounded annually with an interest rate of 2.5%. We're not filling all this out because we have our grand total right here. That's what her contribution is for working every summer. So we're going to subtract that. And what is her grand total for 4 years? 43,000 what? Okay. So you know what? It's not a bad thing. We started at 81 and we ended up about 43. And that's just from savings, from parents' contributions, scholarships. Okay. Here's what you're going to do when we're done. I'm going to give you an example of this, but there's 12 different scenarios around the room. Based on time, I'm going to ask that you solve 4 of them. You can't do number 3 because I'm going to work number 3 for you, but it's just different examples of cost and tuition and how you can figure it all out. But I'm going to show you this one. This one says, Caleb wants to attend Trinity Valley Community College that charges $3,400 a year. Caleb won a scholarship worth $1,000 a year. If he wants to save money he earns at his job for the next 4 years, how much money must Caleb save every month to have enough money to pay for 1 year? So the first thing you're going to need to ask is, all right, what's the tuition? Is it per year? Is it for the whole year? This one is $3,400 a year. Yes? Okay. He gets a scholarship. So what do I do with the scholarship money? I get to subtract it. He doesn't even have to pay that back. So now we're down to $2,400 a year. So I've done all that work, and I totally forgot what the question was. So I'm going to go back and read the question. If he wants to save money he earns at his job for the next 4 years, how much money does he have to save every month to get by for the first year? So here's my first year cost. He's saving money every month. How many months is he going to save money for? How many months? Yes, 48. Luckily he's planning way in advance because he too was in Miss Mashburn's class. So 48 months, so we're going to divide this by 48, and what's he actually saving per month? $50 a month. Listen, he can put aside $50 a month for 4 years, $2,400. It's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference. Okay, so that's an example of the kind of problems that you're going to come across. I want you to work 4 of them, and the sheet that you have to work on is numbered. So make sure, like if you're at this one, number 4, you're writing the answer on the number 4 spot in your chart. Questions? Okay, when you have 4, come and see me. No. Yes.